can always do another pirouette, or you can always be more flexible, you can always be stronger, you can always be more in shape or whatever. Like, there's actually no perfection. And I think that's where it comes from, because you can't ever, like, it's just, you're never satisfied. That's what it is. I do have trauma from ballet school. It's too much when you're 14, 13.
Is there a sense of competition? Like, do they pit students again?
I think ballet does bring it out. Whether ballet causes it is like another thing. My school stopped. You couldn't go up for seconds, and they banned desserts. Like, it was really emotional. We used to have this thing in our boarding house called Bitchy Wednesdays, where you'd basically just bitch about, get everything off your chest. I can't remember. It's like, I'll pay you like £500 to send a picture of your feet. I was like, did you do it?
And go.
Okay, we're doing that again, are we?
Yeah, we're doing it again until you can find
something better.
Yeah.
Intro. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're at a new studio this time.
We are. Look how fancy this is.
We're like hobos.
How'd you figure?
We're just moving from studio to studio. Can't find a home. We can't find a home. It's Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah. That's nice. Yeah. Okay.
You're the tramp.
I was about to say the same for you.
Oh.
God damn.
Yeah. Should we talk to our guests, or should we talk to
We
each
have
other?
2 guests on today, which is the first time we've ever had 2 guests in an episode.
Yes, that's correct.
Right? Yeah. Correct. Hello.
Hi.
She's like, okay, so now what?
Hi.
So with us today we have Alexandra.
Woo!
And Phoebe.
Hi.
Woo! Do you want to talk about yourselves just to the camera, or do you want us to talk about you?
Like,
You
intro
can
you, not
start.
talk about
Should we
then
talk
I'll
about
correct.
them?
Ah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So shall I start? Who should I
Yeah.
do first?
Me.
Okay. Phoebe, she's 24. She's from the lovely area of Somerset.
Correction.
Yeah. Gloucestershire. She is a former ballet dancer. She is now a model. She's in the Barbie film that's coming out next month, or depends when you're watching it. Maybe it's out already.
True. When you're watching this.
When you're watching this.
Not when you're watching
Or
that.
when you're watching the film.
Sure.
And she is blonde. And then we have Alexandra.
Making that a pretty obvious one.
Okay.
Alexandra, who's 28. She is part. No, she is German. She is German, but she's part Russian, or fully Russian. Yeah, fully Russian. And she used to do ballet in Germany and in the UK. She dances. She models. And I don't want to frame this incorrectly, so maybe you can say what you do for a day job.
Yes, I'm a dance movement psychotherapist.
Wow.
So, NHS, yes.
Wow.
What does that mean?
That sounds so cool. What is it?
It just sounds really cool.
So if you imagine psychotherapy, but we focus on the body, so kind of psychotherapy is a lot on your mind and you intellectualize stuff and you talk about stuff, but dance movement psychotherapy focuses on is actually integrating the body into that. So what we believe as dance movement psychotherapists is that the body has some core knowledge with regards to that, and it's not really separate from the mind, so it's one. So we use also the body to inform kind of our thinking, and also we use the body to kind of help the mind, so kind of we work in a reverse way.
That's so cool.
That's incredible.
For that we use dance and movement.
Could you say that again for stupid people?
Tell it to us like we're 5.
Okay. So
Thank you, Marcus.
So if you imagine like in the movies where you have like the therapist sitting there and like, tell me how you feel. But instead of just talking about it, we look at also how is your body responding to it, or how would that look like in movement, and then taking that knowledge and informing what kind of the mind does and how we can help the mind think in different ways.
From the movements that they do.
So we do movement with the person, whoever that wants to turn up to therapy, as well as kind of we inform. This is going to get really complicated.
You've made it more complicated than the first time.
I'm losing it.
I think we're all like, you know that gif of that woman and all the equations are across?
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm trying really hard though, Alex. Know that.
It's
I'm
alright.
trying really
It's
hard
alright.
to
It's
understand.
basically the
Yeah.
opposite of how I used to perceive ballet as. Or
Exactly.
like the
Yeah.
opposite of what.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Way.
So what you're describing is like using dance in a useful way
Mhm.
and using your body in a useful way and whatever. But I feel like there's a part of dance which is like mostly the main part is not that, and it's like actually like enormous stress on your brain.
Yeah.
It's like complete opposite, but it's like
But-
amazing that it's been in a useful way. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
I think we should just go there straight away. We're going to kind of work our way into this, but let's do it straight away because it's a really good point. You say that it's stress.
It's a major stress on the mind.
Okay, because
And in
but
return, it is a stress on the body.
but the stress on the mind comes from the people who are telling you.
Stress
or,
on the mind comes from this idea that there's like perfection in ballet, but you can never reach it because it's like it's not attainable. Like it's not actually a thing. Like you can always do another pirouette. Or you can always be more flexible. You can always be stronger. You can always be more in shape or whatever. Like there's actually no perfection. And I think that's where it comes from, because you can't ever like. It's just you're never satisfied. That's what it is.
whose idea of perception is that coming from? Is that coming from yourself, or is it coming from the teachers, or is it coming from?
Everyone, I think.
Okay.
Is it something that's outwardly said as well, or is it something that's quite sort of manipulated into the classes?
I think it's both.
Really?
So I've had it outwardly said to me.
Mm-hmm.
And
So it'd be
what's
like,
it like?
you need to be better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even though you are already pretty great and objectively looking, you're like, no, this is actually pretty solid work.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, there's always better.
It's always
Yeah.
better. That's the thing. That's where it comes from.
Right. And how, because you both started when you were really young, right?
Mhm.
So is that something that is told to you from day dot at a very young age?
I think for me personally, that was very much a shift. So I was young and it was all about kind of fairies and running around and enjoying it. And I was like, oh my God, I get to wear tutu. And that's the most exciting thing in the world.
How old were you? Sorry.
2.
2.
Yeah.
Wow.
You started ballet at 2.
I started
I'm the
at
same.
2 as well.
Yeah, it was like baby ballet. Like
Yeah.
the mum would be there, and it's
Okay.
like baby class. It's not like you're not actually learning.
Okay.
You're like running
but
around.
you're like
and-
you get the
yeah.
idea
Just getting the
Alright.
of like
fundamentals.
pointing your toes
Yeah.
and like that kind of thing.
And this was it your mum's that took you to these?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, my mum was just like, she's running around a lot in circles. She's dancing around. Let's just put her somewhere so she can do that genuinely.
Oh, that's
Also,
so sweet.
later on, we don't have to invest into like a chiropractor. She'll have, cause she's gonna have good posture. So I was
Mum
like,
is
alright.
forward
Thinking
thinking.
ahead. She's like,
It does help posture. You
Yeah.
can always tell a ballet dancer.
exactly. So she's
Yeah, you
thinking
can tell.
ahead.
Look at you guys. You're like this. Me and Mum's
Really?
are like.
I'm
Right,
like,
right, right.
I don't think so, but
Yeah.
you can always tell a ballet dancer.
I'm having a nap.
Well, you did.
So-
Kez, you did ballet as well, though.
I did, but I don't want to say I did because it's not in any way, shape, or form to the degree you
Doesn't
guys
matter.
did. It
Doesn't
was like
matter,
I
yeah.
did it from maybe 6 to 18,
Mm.
or maybe
Oh, wow,
4
that's
to
a long
18.
time.
Still a
You did
very
like the
long time.
grades, the RAD, like.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I didn't go very high, maybe to like grade 2, maybe. But yeah, like my experience was very much sort of for leisure. It wasn't any way, shape, or form sort of for professional reasons. But and the classes that we did were all very much divided amongst the different styles of dance. It wasn't solely ballet. So I saw I was in different groups, but my first sort of troupe that I was with, I definitely saw a very traditional teacher and definitely felt what I imagine you guys felt on a much smaller scale, in that she was just never happy with the work. You always had to do better. She was very criticizing of, you know, a lot. And I kind of chose to remove myself from that at that age.
Yeah, you wanted to do it for fun, and that's not.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Turns into something else. Like it suddenly turns into like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this shift, I'm really interested to know, how old were you guys? Because if you started so young, obviously, I would hope that a teacher wouldn't inflict that kind of, you know, teaching style on you from an early age. But were you still quite young when you felt that shift?
Yeah.
I
And-
was really young.
And how did you respond to that? How old were you, if you don't mind me asking?
So I did ballet originally because my sister did it, and she's older than me, and she was quite good at it, and she got into like the Royal Ballet Associates and stuff. So my mum just put me into it because she thought, oh, like Em's doing well at this, like we'll put Fee into it. And then I kind of like, I don't want to come across, I was kind of like good as well. Do you know what I mean?
You can say it.
Yeah.
You can say it.
I'm sure you're amazing.
Like I was like, I feel like I had like natural flexibility and stuff like this, even at the age of like 6 or 7. And then I got into the associates at age 7. And that's when you realize you go from like being the best in your local town, which is a completely different thing when you come to London. Like I'm from a small village. I was like one of, I don't know, it was like 100 kids, but I was like the one that was chosen to go to the Royal Ballet Associates. But then I was like surrounded by all these other talented like kids, and that's when you realize, oh, like, wow, okay. But you still feel special, but there's the shift of like, and then it's like complete stress, really.
Okay.
Starts from that age, really.
Same for yourself, Alessandra?
I think because I was in Germany, we didn't have as many opportunities. Like we don't have a Royal Ballet or anything like that. I think for me, it was just my teacher saw potential and they're like, actually, you're pretty good at this. And then around 12, they were like, well, you have the choice of either you do this for leisure or you take this seriously. And you kind of go from doing it 2-3 times a week to stepping it up to 5 to 6 times a week. And I was like, oh, okay. And then you kind of, with 12, you start to think about, okay, either I do this now, what are my job prospects, how am I doing in school? And then you start to weigh out your entire life.
Which is a lot for a 12-year-old. Because
Yeah.
I think like choosing your life at 18 when you have to choose sort of your degree is a lot. I can't imagine like the amount of stress that would put on someone who is 12 and doesn't really have an idea of what the real world is.
Yeah. I think it's more the parents though, isn't it? I think the parents have said, okay, you're going to do dance now.
Yeah.
Because you don't really get a choice when you're 7. You don't go to your mum, I don't want to do dance anymore.
Yeah, 2 years old, I'm sure you didn't have a say in that. So it makes sense, checks out.
And then you
My
kind
mum
of...
wanted me to do it.
Your
as
mum,
well.
yeah.
Like my mum loved the fact that me and my sister did ballet, and we did it in London, and like we would come up and then we would like, she loved that. Like, and I did like a one competition when I was like 10. She was fully invested.
And then you become fully invested because obviously you're good at it.
But she wasn't like in a negative. I've seen the difference. There are some families that are really pushy. My mum just loved the fact that I had a talent as a child and wanted me to pursue it. It was like something different to the normal. It's nice.
Yeah, that. It
But
wasn't
so-
Dance Mum's vibe.
Yeah.
It wasn't Dance Mum's vibe. Like there was a few occasions where she might have been a bit like, oh, come on, you can do this. Right? Like, I didn't mind it.
Do you think do you think the decisions that you made as a 10-year-old or 11-year-old were at all your decisions in that sense when it comes to dance? Or do you think it was completely your mum? At any point, could you have said, I want to quit? And
I
then
basically, at 10 years old, auditioned for like all the big schools in London that were like boarding schools. And my mum kind of said to me, like, it was kind of like you go to where you get. Not that sounds
What does that
so
mean? Does
bad.
that mean
like you're
going
to the school
regardless?
where you get? Like, it's not really I don't know, I never really had that, like, I always wanted to go.
Okay.
I never wanted to go to a normal secondary school. I was like, oh my God, I want to go to a ballet school, and I really wanted to go. And I used to do like an associate program at that school before I went, and I always used to think, this is my school. I'm gonna live here. I just knew.
And that's what you did.
And that's what I did.
You went,
3
you
years.
studied dance, and you lived.
I lived there.
You
It was
lived
a
there.
boarding school, yeah.
It's a boarding school. It's a Harry
Yeah.
Potter type thing.
It really was.
Yeah.
Secondary school. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So year 7 I went, and then stayed there till end of year 9.
Oh, so not the full
Just did 3 years.
by choice? Okay, so you gave up.
Ooh.
Basically, yeah, like
It's a bit harsh.
No, it's a question. It's a question.
I feel like for me, like I still wanted to do ballet when I left, but it was just too much. Like I was doing classes then, and I was training with a really good teacher, and he kind of brought me into a world of like musical theatre and other things other than straight ballet. And I was like, because I'd never really done that before. And I was like, okay, this is actually, I'm still doing ballet, and I was still having really good ballet training, but I wasn't like just focused on that, because at the time I was reconsidering like, is this actually like what I want my job to be?
Right.
It's too much. But then like when I found like acting and other things, I liked it.
Sure.
Yeah.
What's the day-to-day of going to a school like that that's heavily focused on dance in terms of like lessons and stuff? You know, you like in secondary school, and like, in my secondary school anyway, you just had like PE like once a week. Like I can imagine.
I still can't do PE. Like,
flipped.
I remember when I went to a normal school after it, I like, because we didn't do PE at the ballet school, did we? Like,
because you were doing ballet. Yeah.
I didn't know how to catch a ball. Like,
you know what it was for me? The bleep test. I still have nightmares about it.
Oh yeah. I used to be like, I'm on my period. Like, every PE lesson. Didn't even start my period
weekly
after school. But
it's a weekly, yeah.
Yeah,
it was
a continuous thing.
It's a rare one.
It's very irregular.
Yeah. It was too much. And when you go up to the male PE teacher, he's not going to say anything.
Oh, they freak. Yeah.
They freak.
They do.
Sorry, I'm on my period.
But yeah, what was the day-to-day in terms of like balance of like academic subjects?
So
to
we
dance?
did, because everyone always asks, oh my god, so you didn't do school? Like, we did do school, but it wasn't taken seriously at all.
Oh, really?
And if I didn't leave when I left, I would have failed my GCSEs. If I didn't leave at the end of year 9, I had a tutor when I left in every single subject. Bearing in mind, this school that I went to is like thousands and thousands and thousands
of pounds.
Yeah, thousands to go there.
How many thousands?
So I got a scholarship, because I would not go if I didn't get a scholarship.
Sure.
It's like 32 grand a year.
What?
Oh, fully. And I remember my dad speaking to one of the other girls.
Mortgage money.
That is mortgage
who
money.
didn't get a scholarship. Or it's like means tested. So I don't know. I'm not saying she didn't get a scholarship. Maybe she couldn't qualify for a scholarship. And the dad said that they would spend £250,000 if she went all the way through to end of sixth form.
Oh my god.
End of sixth form if she stayed. And I don't know. But it's like a lot. To fail your GCSEs,
what are
it's
you
a
thinking,
lot.
Alex?
It's
thinking
too
dance
much.
is. I don't
It's,
know.
it's very elitist.
It's a privilege.
That is,
to get into, and it's ironic because you then get the jobs and they're like, work for exposure, and you're like, I paid so much money to get this education.
It's such
you
bad
put
pay.
so much money into it, and they're like, you know what, your craft is worth nothing once you graduate.
My
Isn't
sister's
that
a
mad?
professional ballet dancer now in Eastern Europe, and it's like,
Is she making the money back that your parents invested?
she's not earning like no,
Okay.
probably. Well, I don't really know. She's been there
Okay.
for a long time now, and she's getting like main lead parts. But it's not. I mean, it's Eastern Europe as well. Like, it's not, you know. But no, you don't. I think in the Royal Ballet Company, you get like a goodish wage because you've got to live in central London. But you don't. It's like compared to the school training and everything, it's just. And
So-
to fail your GCSEs, like, I would have failed.
Really? And is that what took you out? Was that like when you realised, did you realise that and that's why you came out?
I just kind of like, it was everything really.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you didn't enjoy it. I can tell from the look on your face.
I actually really loved parts of it, like the best time ever.
The boarding school
was
part.
so fun.
Was it?
It was amazing.
Did you get to, was it like St. Trinian's vibes?
Oh, yeah.
Really? That's
Fully.
That's what my
So much. It was like 14 girls in my year.
Yeah.
And like 7 or 8 boys, I think. Don't quote me on that, but there was like less boys, obviously. I think now it's a bit more equal. But it was just so fun. And like the house parents were amazing.
The house parents.
House parents,
What is
like,
that?
People who would live with you in your boarding house. Like there would be like
Was it
2
more
or
than
3
two
ladies
Oh,
in ours, and the boys would
Aw.
have like 1 lady and 2 guys, I think.
That's really cute.
that is so cute.
Because obviously you can't just like, yeah. They were a bit strict though. Like take your phones off you at night and stuff.
Oh man.
That's just life, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
it's
just the way it
expected, I
is.
reckon.
Don't
Yeah.
need phones on you at night time.
Wish
do you?
someone would do that for me now.
Yeah, to be fair.
I get that.
Yeah, I'm on my phone all night.
So, Alexander, did you have to pay also? Not you personally, but your...
Well, we paid for the school that I'm saying we, my parents, paid for the school that I went to in Germany, which is also solid money, not grands and grands, but still, for a very kind of just about middle class family, it was a lot. And then I went to Performance College, which is also, you get the national diploma, and that's also quite a lot of cash.
In Germany?
In the UK.
In the UK.
So that's in Essex.
Oh, in Essex?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
dear.
I lived there for 3 years.
Oh, no.
Nice.
That's terrible news.
What
I
was-
know.
Is that what brought you to the UK? Was that
Yeah.
you saw this opportunity at this school?
Yeah, because I thought I was going to go to a school, to a more contemporary-based school in Germany, and kind of pursue it in Germany.
Sure.
And then we had an audition arranged by my school teacher, and she's like, "Oh, we're just going to have an audition for some German kids. There's some people from Performance College that are coming over." And I generally thought it was just like, if I do it, if I get it, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was more like a joke thing. And then a few months later, I received a letter like, "You've been accepted." It was like a Hogwarts letter. It was like, "You've been accepted."
I'm sensing a theme here.
Yeah.
It is.
But yeah, no, after that, I've been accepted. And I was like, well, I'm 17. I can either finish school, which I'm not going to do well at because I'm dancing all day and I'm not going to study.
Sure.
Or I can go to the UK now and I can study. So I was like, dance is what I want to do. So it makes sense. So I came to the UK when I was 17 and I studied for 3 years.
Wow.
What was the plan at that point?
There was no plan.
Wasn't there like
absolutely
a
no
goal?
plan.
Wasn't there like, I want to be a dancer, blah, blah, blah? Or...
I think that's the main point for me, because once you get into dance, you kind of get told you have to become a dancer.
Sure.
Yeah, you
isn't-
can't have a plan B because then
No.
you'll fail. That's what I got told.
Yeah,
There's
that
no
means you
plan B.
failed or you didn't make it or
Yeah.
you weren't good enough. And
You
then
have to put
yeah.
it has to literally be everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it does actually.
Mhm.
Like, I actually get what they mean. It actually does have to be everything.
And I think that's the difficulty of it, because if you become a dance teacher, that means you failed because you didn't become a dancer. There is not even that mentality of someone wants to have that extensive dance training to be a good dance teacher.
Right.
No,
Or
yeah.
you want
That's
to be a
dance
choreographer.
teachers, someone who
Yeah.
couldn't perform.
Yeah.
Doesn't make
Fully
any sense, does
savage.
It doesn't. Right.
Yeah,
Make any
because
sense.
all the good teachers actually aren't always the best dancers. And the best
Yeah.
dancers are often not very good teachers because they get it so naturally that they can't really explain it.
Sure, they can't translate it to
Yeah,
someone who
yeah,
wouldn't know that.
yeah.
That makes sense.
A lot of the time teachers aren't always very good at, but because they know how to actually
Yeah.
work at it.
Yeah.
Well, they can be, and it's their passion. And I think that's no one actually takes the time to be like, what is it that you actually want to do? Being a dancer is not the only option.
Mhm.
Like, I didn't know dance movement psychotherapy was an option.
Exactly.
Or being a choreographer, or kind of working in different parts of movement and dance. There's different aspects to it, but no one kind of lays it out and explains it to you. But once you start dance, being a dancer is the only option.
Yeah.
And it's your teachers that are telling you this, that there's no plan B.
Yeah.
Isn't that really ironic though? Like,
Yeah.
your teachers are telling you there's no plan B, but they are.
But it
Well,
is,
they are the
that's
plan B.
teachers,
There
they're
is
the plan
their
B.
plan
Yeah.
B, but a plan B is never a plan A. It's
A
never
plan
good
B
enough.
is never a plan A.
Yeah, well,
I've got those mathematics
gif
again. Yeah. She's good.
She's good.
Yeah.
I see why you're in the field. No, just kidding, just
sometimes
kidding.
I say stuff and it doesn't always make sense.
It's a language barrier. It's a language barrier.
So I can imagine that mindset, sort of like being told that this is it, this is sort of, the only plan, can be quite a lot. And obviously you guys are not in that field directly anymore. Was it really difficult for you guys to kind of, come out of the industry, obviously not fully out, but be in the job roles you are now, being told what you were told when you were younger and training?
I still feel like it really shaped me. Like, I still feel now like I take it on board. Like, that feeling of you can always kind of do better, or it's never quite right, like I have that with everything I do. I feel like that a little bit. I definitely have trauma. But I'm allowed to say that I do have trauma from ballet school. Like, it's too much when you're 14, 13, like even younger.
But you said you enjoyed it, so the trauma comes from...
The trauma comes from the actual ballet.
Okay.
In the studio, in the ballet studio. As soon as you're out, everything else about the school is amazing. Like, the amazing friends, people from all around the world, like, came to that school. Like...
So is it the teachers specifically? Because it sounds like it's normally the teachers that are the issue.
The teachers, the teachers, and just the way it's run and everything.
Is there a sense of competition? Like, do they pit students against each other?
Oh my god, that's another thing. The competition. We're talking about like all this stuff within ourselves.
Yeah.
But then when you've got another girl standing there who's like better, it's like does do a lot to you.
Yeah.
Because you've come from being the best in like, you know, that small fish, big pond thing.
When you say she's better, are you acknowledging that, or is the teacher acknowledging that she's the best? Is she telling?
Oh,
is the
yeah,
teacher
the
telling
teacher, right? Like the teacher's a savage.
I think it's like we do with parents, that you get a lot of things said and then you internalize it and it becomes a part of you. So the teacher, maybe it starts with, oh look, she's done all of this, and they don't have to say you should also be doing all of that. Like you internalize it and then it becomes part of your mentality that's going to make you work harder and become the best. Because if you're the best, there can't be anyone better than you.
Yeah, I remember once in year 8, my teacher, basically when you're in a proper ballet company, you have like the principals, soloists, and then it goes down to like the corps de ballet, like, you know, like Swan Lake with all the swans like standing in a line. And she like ranked us based on that. So she like gave a 12-year-old like the principal part, you know, like, so she basically told us like who's the best to the worst.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And like each week it would change. So you'd be always trying to like...
Right. Did that drive you or did that demotivate you? Demotivate?
Yeah, that's the word.
But weirdly enough, the girls who were the principals were the skinniest girls.
That's weird.
So then that whole thing comes in of like body.
Body image.
Body is like obviously another thing.
Has that body image thing gone into your adult life as well? Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to expand on that?
That's just a whole different.
It's a whole different subject.
That's just a whole... I feel like if you suffer with eating problems or maybe like something like that, it does start from a young age. So I don't want to say... I think you have it within you to kind of have those mental issues. I think ballet does bring it out. Whether ballet causes it is like another thing. But I think it can bring... You have things in your life that might bring out those mental things. But I have always kind of had that like I remember like being 10 and being like, oh, Mum, I look fat in my leotard. Like, and I knew not to eat before, at literally 10 years old.
You knew not to eat before?
I knew not to eat before I was going into a ballet class at 10 years old because I didn't like the feeling, or I just didn't want to look big in my leotard, and I was tiny.
And that came from no one at that point? Your teachers hadn't made any comments?
No, not at that age. Because you're all like not developed as women, obviously, but like girls start at like 12, or this kind of thing starts going on. You're looking to see like what girls are getting bigger, what girls are getting hips. Like awful.
I think it's that, and it's a subconscious message. You know who's in the room. You know what body types are in the room. You don't have to know that this is just a fraction of a certain body type that's here. It's very obvious that you don't have to think about it as a kid and be like, no one actually has to tell you.
No.
You know.
And like especially as girls, like I think you do, because the boys that did ballet were kind of all like, the boys get amazing at like 16, whereas the girls are always ahead at a young age. And the girls know, like, you just know what's going on.
Is there not any teachers who acknowledge that, or anyone that you could have spoken to, or anyone mentioning the whole weight thing in school, or when they're teaching you, aren't they saying, girls, you should eat? Like, nothing. There's no counterbalance, no?
From a bowl. So, like, obviously, it was boarding school, you'd have your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But it was a trend to pick up was like a school canteen. It was a trend to pick up the bowl, so the ladies would give you less. It was like a trend. It was really cool and like
to like regulate your portion.
Yeah, and then they stopped. My school stopped. You couldn't go up for seconds, and they banned desserts.
Banned desserts.
They banned desserts.
Children. That's
I was
a
children. They banned desserts. Like, it was really emotional. I remember. But they also banned homework, which was amazing.
They banned homework.
Yeah, they were like, we don't need.
I mean, peaks and troughs.
Yeah, like take one, do you know?
Take the wins where you can get.
I remember they banned homework. They were like, no, like they're too stressed with the dance. So the academic staff were like,
that makes sense.
so we didn't do homework.
Too stressed out with the ballet, so let us let go another part of it. That's fine.
How much of your school time was actual schoolwork?
So it was like 8:30 till 6. So it was like a double day, really.
So 8:30 to 6 was actual schoolwork.
All we were in school. Well, no, it was like you do probably like 4, 5, 6 hours of dance, and then the rest was schoolwork.
So 2 hours.
No, wait, maybe a bit more.
4 hours.
I feel like it was maybe a little bit of like half and half.
Okay.
But then when the shows and everything was on, like the end of the summer show, like people would just get pulled out of classes left, right, and centre. Just pulled out.
That would be the dream, did you say?
Imagine just like in
What,
maths,
to be like
and
hit
then
in a
being
ballet
like-
class?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, speaking from maths.
Yeah, true. I
At this
hated it.
point.
I was so bad, like at the academic. I did not take it seriously whatsoever.
They didn't
I
either,
remember
so
my
it's fine.
teacher used to be like, "Can you stop ending the sentences? Like, you just like don't end. You just go like and then you just finish. Like, I just didn't do anything fully." And he was like, "Why do you write down like?"
What do you mean write down? What do you mean by write
I just
down?
realised something in English. I used to write like in the middle of the page, so looks like I did loads of work, like in an essay, but I just write like down like in a thin strip.
Just
He'd be like,
this
"Why
in the
are you
middle of the
stopping? Go to the end of the margin thing." I was like, "Yeah, but I want to
That's
like,
genius.
yeah." See, I was like very good at
you were
manipulation.
smart. What are you talking about?
I wasn't bad, you know. I knew how to not do things.
You said street smart. That's what I'm
Yeah,
going
Street
for.
smart, exactly.
Yeah.
But you know what? When I left, I had a tutor in like things after school. Went to a normal school, and I was like, "Oh God, people actually take it," because it was like year 10, like GCSEs. I was like, "Oh, people actually care about this stuff."
About education,
Yeah, like because I never really cared. Like I just didn't. And then I actually got really good GCSEs.
What did you get? What did you get? Go on.
So I got like A in English after
You
all
beat
of that.
me. That's ridiculous.
Because if I actually put my mind to it, I could do it. But I never had the opportunity because I was always focused on ballet. I was a distraction completely.
I'm sure. Stop to interrupt you. I'm sure you didn't want to as well.
Didn't want to focus on academics.
Yeah.
No, but when I came out, I suddenly matured and I was like, okay, I might be a lawyer.
Quick switch.
Quick switch. No, I just like, but maths not great. C.
What did you get? C. You beat me as well.
But I did get a few other A's and I got an A star and something.
Oh no, that's so hard.
Beat me, but it was harder back in your
Back
day.
in my day. back on.
That's what my
Someone
With
had
the
to
quill,
say
when
it.
I had the quill.
apparently it was harder.
Right on parchment.
Yeah, chalkboard vibes.
Yeah.
You probably did have a
Chalkboard.
Not in grade.
Hours to do that test.
It was harder, but yeah. Anyway, I actually then focused on school.
Just moving on.
Just moving on.
Just moving straight on.
Just moving on.
Yeah. It probably was hard. I don't know. But I doubt it.
Alex, was it the same for you? Because you said that you also went to a dance school in secondary school years.
So
if
no,
I've got
it was
that
a
right.
normal
Was
school,
it a
so I
normal
had
school?
to do all my normal academic work, and then I went after school straight to ballet school, and then stayed there till like 9, 10 in the evening.
That's probably
So,
harder. To
I
be honest,
didn't-
that's
yeah.
probably harder.
That's harder.
I didn't have time for homework. I used to sit every morning in school, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm so sorry, I forgot my book again."
What were the
Boys.
ages for each of these schools? When you went to the ballet school, how old were you?
So I went from 2 to 17 to same
Oh,
ballet
sorry,
school.
I see what you mean.
And
Yeah, so
then
you're
I just
doing
kind of
after
did my
school.
academic side on just on a normal
Got
pathway.
you.
But I felt like I wasn't kind of getting both sides either, if that makes sense.
Okay, you get 50-50
Yeah.
of each.
Yeah, because I guess you weren't like solely dedicated to one or the other, right? Yeah.
Like I used to come home at like 9-10 in the evening, used to have some food and then fall asleep straight away. There's no way I could learn for a test or do anything. I used to go in the morning and then copy my friend's homework. Shout out.
You have to
That's a solid
prioritise.
friendship. though.
Yeah, and then copy the
I was
homework.
like,
Yeah.
school that was stingy. I needed like a couple of times to copy homework. You wouldn't believe. Like, it's like no. This is
So
my
you needed a
homework,
couple
do
of
you
times to
want
copy homework.
Yeah.
That we
You didn't
just
have good
said.
friends.
No, I didn't.
Coventry.
Exactly. Girl, she's not kidding. They're stingy back
Why
there.
did you copy
Wow.
homework? That's not a thing, you know. They have to copy
Oh.
homework. You can actually do it yourself.
I know you could do it yourself, but I
Okay.
didn't like have like I either forgot or I didn't have the time. or
Forgot?
da-da-da-da. Yeah, you forget
Yeah.
to do homework as a kid.
Some people
No,
have
you
a
don't
life.
forget. You're a
I don't
kid.
know how it was back in your day, Marcus.
Back in my day. when
Yeah, you
get
get the cane and stuff.
I did. Yeah.
Stop.
In the face.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
actually?
Are you
No,
kidding?
I didn't.
I was gonna.
How old do you think I am?
It's a mystery.
Actually,
not long
what
ago.
are you? A millennial or are you? What are you?
I
I
don't
think
know
I'm
what
a
I am.
millennial. I'm just
So am I.
about.
So am
yeah.
I. We're
Wait,
both
what am
millennials.
I?
Ew.
Mm.
I'm
you're
98.
you're Gen X or
I'm
Gen.
98 too.
Oh, there you go. Gen Z.
yeah.
Gen Z.
Ah,
Well, I got told
October. Or-
May.
Oh, nice.
Besties. Yeah, no. You get home from school. TV's on.
Is it? Is there a TV?
No, it's
I'm
radio.
actually obsessed
Radio's
with
on.
The radio.
Radio's on.
Radio.
And then you listen to the radio all night, and you're like, "Oh, I forgot my homework. I just coffee with my friend tomorrow." Is that what happened?
Can't remember. Yeah. CBBC was popping off in those days, so
It was.
Philip Schofield.
CBB. Yeah.
Oh,
Philip
let's not talk
Schofield.
about Phil.
Okay, poor Phil.
Phil wasn't part of CBBC.
He was.
No, he wasn't.
He
No,
was.
that was Jimmy Savile.
Right.
Easily confused.
No, Philip Schofield wasn't in any CBBC
He was.
shows. Which one?
Him and Andy Peters.
That was way back.
That was way
That was
back.
way back.
That was way back. With the
That was
films.
like
Myself.
original Blue Peter days.
That was it was
Yeah.
those days. Yeah.
I didn't
yeah.
catch that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that
You
I was
definitely didn't get
around.
that because you were in Germany.
I did. I was like, okay, references.
I was like, yeah, all of that.
All of that stuff.
All
All,
of
the
that.
good stuff. My idea of ballet is from Black Swan.
Well, that's very off.
I kind of
but
love
yeah.
Is it off though? Is it off?
Well,
It's
I
actually
think it's
not.
it's extreme. I
It's
think it's an
extreme.
extreme version of what you can expect.
Has it been? Okay.
Okay.
Like no one actually gets psychosis or like. Well, actually, do you know what? I'll
You
take
know
it back.
what? I've got mad stories.
Have you?
Yeah.
Can you give us one?
I feel a little bit mean.
It's fine.
Maybe I can't. Okay, well we used to have this thing in our boarding house called Bitchy Wednesdays, where on a Wednesday at registration, so you'd have registration in the morning and registration in the evening, and it would be Bitchy Wednesdays where you'd basically just bitch about, get everything off your chest, but it would
Yeah.
be so indirect with all the girls. I imagine like teenage
That being
girls.
so toxic.
It was so toxic. It was like, "Ah, please don't stand in front of me in the mirror, and da 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 da. And basically, one girl, I feel a little bit, should I say this? But I'm
Yeah, just
going
don't
to.
name names.
Yeah. One girl, it was kind of like a rumor, so it might not be true, but
It's
it's
a rumour.
true. It's definitely true. She had a few, we all did, a few of us had like eating problems and stuff. She actually like would force feed people like chocolate and stuff to make everyone else gain weight.
Who?
And she went crazy.
A
like,
fellow student.
Yeah.
How old were you at this point?
I think she was like 15.
Stop.
She was a little bit older than me. So she actually like would like go and gift people food because she wanted people to eat, and she would like stuff food to them and like put it in their bed and stuff, like to make people feel like they were like she was like, because in her head she wanted people to eat, like, so she looked, I don't know, like
You guys ever seen
it's
Bride
obviously
Wars?
very sad.
Yeah, you ever seen Bride Wars? You know, there's this scene.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Let's
You've
say
mentioned
this.
Harry Potter, Centrinians, and
Oh,
Bride
it's definitely like
Wars.
Centrinians.
Yeah. There's a scene in Bride Wars. These two brides are going against each other.
Anne Hathaway.
And Kate Hudson. And basically Anne Hathaway sends Kate Hudson like all of these like really fatty foods saying that it's from a fiance, but it wasn't for her to gain weight so she can't fit into her dress because they're trying to get out of each other.
Yeah, it's
It gave
kind
me
of
that
like
vibe.
that. And it's also
Just
the
the
feeling
same.
of like if everyone else is losing around you.
Based on that.
Yeah, literally.
Okay.
If everyone's losing around you, then you're winning.
Ooh, I like
So-
that. That's good.
What?
Even
really
if you're
good.
like
No?
crumbling.
As in like smart evil idea or
No, I like that. I like the expression. I like the expression. It's a cool
Maybe
expression.
I'm like smart and evil.
I think you are. You've mentioned Jimmy Savile, Philip Schofield, and me being old.
And who?
Me being old as well.
Oh,
I think
no,
you're.
not. You've still got a bit left. I don't know why I'm taking these
can come
jokes so
back.
extreme. Like, I feel like I'm just going to go with the joke now.
You should do it. Yeah, you should do it. Yeah, stick with it.
Yeah.
Stick with the same joke. It's working. So it's not like Black Swan.
Because Black Swan's
yeah.
like all about her own issues. isn't
Yeah,
it?
perfection.
So, yeah.
I
It's all
think
about perfection.
I think
and how
it-
it affects
yeah.
her mentally, right?
I think it can get to that extreme.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone does, but the industry definitely holds the potential for it.
Sure.
Fully.
But I'm
and
not-
there's,
yeah, it's not a
there's
guarantee.
themes within Black Swan, which is very real. So, like, I think she gets abused by her teacher or the director of the company. Sexually abused.
No. She wants to do stuff with him.
Oh, okay.
And I
You
think
could
she goes
take
to his
it that
flat
way.
and then...
Is it not the other way around?
You could take it that way, but he was very abusive to her.
I feel like in the film
He
I
was
I
saying
remember
stuff.
that.
Maybe she
he's
did wanna
verbally,
sleep
yeah,
with
he's
him.
verbally abusive. I think she went round. Basically,
He
he was sleeping with the
manipulated her or
girl
something.
before the famous one, and the famous one died, didn't she? Werner Ryder, because she was like the top dog, and Natalie Portman was trying to take her place. And then what's the name? What's the other girl's name?
Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis takes Natalie Portman's place, but is she really real? Maybe she's not. Yeah, but yeah, you were going on to a very
that
interesting point there.
thing definitely goes on. I think because anything creative is quite like you're using your body and like you get very close emotionally and physically when you're dancing. You get very close and that kind of like a lot of relationships go on. But then obviously it crosses over with like the people in charge of the ballet companies or like worst case scenario in the schools with the teachers and the students, which did actually go on.
the female teachers.
No, male teachers
Okay.
with a lot of the boys actually
Ah,
has come
okay.
out about certain schools and
dear me.
Philip Schofield vibe. I don't know what. I don't know. It's awful.
Yeah.
So that is like that actually can go on. I think that can happen anywhere.
Yeah, for
Happens
sure.
anywhere, and I don't think it's ballet that brings it out.
Not at all.
No, but I think when you're in that close environment, it comes your life. Then everything happens in that studio.
Yeah. I mean, it happens in football as well.
Yeah, happens everywhere.
I think when
Yeah.
the stakes are high and as well the competitive nature of things, and you know that kind of you get that mentality drilled into you that you have to do everything if you want to get there, and that everything
Yeah, and
sets
also,
very little limits and boundaries.
Right.
and then you don't know if it's sometimes like, well, the boy actually thought he was in a relationship, or like I don't know, like maybe he won't. I don't know. It's just like a topic that is a bit like you don't really know what's going on half the time.
Yeah. But it didn't happen to you two.
No,
Okay.
definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
So Black Swan is real.
I remember watching it at ballet school when it came out, and I was like 12 or something, and
You
everyone
watched
was
Black
like,
Swan at 12.
yeah, and everyone
Isn't
was
it
like,
She's like, it's a movie about
Yeah.
ballet. Let's go.
yeah. I was like, oh my god, I love ballet. There's that scene where she's in the bath, like,
Yeah.
you know the one.
Yeah, I know the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the one. Yeah. Yes. Disgusting.
Freaky.
Have you seen Blackswan?
I've seen it like 10 years ago, and I'm pretty sure I blocked it out because I was
Yeah,
like,
Yeah.
years
that-
ago as well.
Yeah,
It's quite freaky,
literally.
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's very like scary, and then she like
Yeah.
turns into a swan because she embodies it so much.
Yeah.
But that's like a metaphor for like you literally become ballet becomes you.
Right.
She's like plucking the feathers out her back.
Yeah, she kills herself.
Yeah,
She physically kills herself.
because she gets so into the
Is it?
story.
I don't remember.
Yeah, she
that
stabs
so much.
herself.
Yeah,
Like a body, it's like a version of her.
Right.
She stabs herself, but it's actually herself that she stabbed.
My gosh. Yeah, I don't remember this.
And then she
film.
dies. The last scene is her dying.
Wow.
and they were like beautiful before.
Yes. You did it. You
Because you
reached
suffer for
perfection.
art.
You suffer
Yeah.
for your art, yeah. Yeah. So moving on to your adult lives now. So you've taken the idea of perception and perfection into your adult lives. Can you give some examples?
I haven't.
You haven't.
I'm not gonna
you,
lie.
you
no.
completely
Yeah.
sort of released that sort of
Wow.
mentality and
Good for you.
mindset.
Yeah.
Were there
s-
steps to doing that, or was it just kind of a natural transition into
It-
adulthood?
I think it was both to a degree, because after graduating I was like, okay, right, I'm going to become a dancer, I'm going to do this. And then very early on they're like, okay, we think these jobs will be great for you. So you get boxed into something and categorized. And I think is very much a theme in this industry. You get treated as the object, and it's very much, oh, you're self-employed, you are the product.
Right.
And that never really sat right with me, and I never knew why. And I was like, oh no, maybe I'm not confident enough, I'm not embracing it enough. And I think you also have that mentality that you're trying to find the mistake within you. And I was like, right, so all the jobs that I'm doing, yeah, they're great and whatever, but it's just, I don't know, I never get real satisfaction from it. Or as a dancer, yeah, it's all about creativity, but you get into a job and you get told what they want you to do.
Right. So you have no sort of creative input
No.
as the creative itself.
No. So
Right.
I wasn't really clicking with the industry, if that makes sense. And then I was like, I actually enjoyed dance when I was little. And then at some point, as soon as it started to become my profession and I have to depend on it, it took all of that away from me. And I was like, that's not a place where I would want to be, which is where kind of, I was like, okay, my parents also very academic. They were like, you have to do BA. So I was like, okay, let me take the time to convert it while I'm doing random jobs here and there. So then I started writing a dissertation on stereotypes in dance, and I was like reading more up about it and like actually thinking more about, I think the thinking did it, but I was like, do you know what, this is not great. And then while doing that, I then found the course for dance movement psychotherapy, and I was like, wait, so dance and movement can be used as a tool to heal people and to understand people more. And the course in itself is actually very experiential in the sense of they make you move the way that you want to move, not the way that you train to move.
Right.
And returning back to that, for me, did that. So
That's
you
so
start to kind
useful.
of, there's certain things, but I was like, yeah, definitely my training defined me as a person, not just as a dancer. And there's certain things that I'm like, yes, these are useful to take on as who I am and to carry forward and use them in my life. And then certain things, I was like, do you know what, they don't serve me anymore. So I'm just going to have to let go of this. And then you kind of create this new patchwork person and identity for yourself and rediscover yourself. And I got to rediscover movement in a very different way. And there's no way I'm moving how I move when I started training, or like you change as a person. So your movement repertoire changes and you evolve. But I can say that my relationship with dance and movement is now in a very different place to where it was a few years back.
Wow. See, I never had that revelation. I just kind of ended. I think the reason I looked back and was like, I did enjoy it, was because of that stage feeling. Like maybe yours was that, or maybe yours was like you said, being creative or something. Mine was more like that buzz of the stage. Like that was like the end thing. That was why a lot of dancers do it. But there was like a minute part of when that was actually happening. Everything else was like not what I enjoyed. Like I did enjoy dancing, but only if there was an audience in front of loads of people and I was being appreciated. I don't know if that's like a vain thing to say, but I think now with what I do, you do still get that when you're in front of a camera, when you're on shoots and stuff, you get that same feeling. It's not a stage feeling, but it's similar. So I feel like that going into this has helped, because I don't really have any feeling of wanting to go back to it, because I still get that kind of buzzy feeling of like performing in a way.
Yeah, I think you start to decipher because dance, it gets packed into one big thing. Like, you're a dancer, you're a performer, like, you have to do that as your job. All these things belong together, and there's no way they can be separated. And I think when you grow up, or maybe you have some time to distance yourself from it, I think you start to think, okay, what are the actual aspects that I enjoy? Like, for you, it might have been being in front of this, like, in front of people on stage. And then you think, okay, great, so how can I do this without all the aspects that I don't like? For me, it was just movement. And I was like, I don't need a stage. I actually don't like that part at all. So I was like, how can I have that? And like, and then you try to figure it out.
That's nice. We've both found our ways to still get the parts that we love without all the rest of it, I guess. So
I think that's really beautiful, the fact that you have managed to both find that one point of what kept you going all those years through school, through your ballet careers, and doing it now to fulfill you rather than the people around you. I think that's really beautiful.
Oh, thanks.
Look at you guys.
Thank you.
I'm going to be a bit more mean, though.
Go on.
Oh, here we go.
See, this is the balance. This is it.
This is it.
It is beautiful, but so so beautiful, but you got your thrill from people watching you perform.
Not people watching you perform, just that feeling of like
being appreciated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like in front. I like get the same thing from being in front of a camera. To me, I do. I can't. It's that kind of like.
Do you like
it's
attention?
Now.
Do you like attention?
Oh God.
Is it validation? is it the validation of it?
Maybe.
Is that
I don't think it's validation as such.
Is it validation because you know you? It's not validation because you know that you're good.
Sometimes it's just about being seen.
Maybe. Clearly didn't receive enough love or something. I don't know. Wow.
Okay, it's just about being seen.
I don't know what it is, but also like I did go through this thing when I gave up ballet. Like, you almost feel like you're wasting a talent, and you're like, oh, like it's kind of a shame, you know?
What do you mean?
Like, because I think back to a child, I never really thought like this is what's keeping me going, the stage feeling. What was actually keeping me going was the fact that I clearly had a talent, so that was it. Like, I can't really explain it, but like it was no other choice. Like, I am a ballet dancer. Like, I became a ballet dancer. It was my personality. Like everyone knew Phoebe was a ballet dancer. So there was no other like. I couldn't really until I got older, and then I realized I had a voice kind of.
I think it really becomes part of your identity.
It
like
does.
You become the ballet girl or the dance girl.
You are the ballet girl.
And you have, because also your entire time goes into it. So you have no other opportunities like to explore other identities, and like other kids in their teenage years go for different stages. Like you go through the emo stage or whatever. And I was like, I just never really did that because my identity was dance.
Yeah. Like the teachers, when I went to the normal school at home, like they all knew, because I still did ballet training, they knew I came from this ballet school, and like it was still a thing. But even now, like I don't mind it anymore. I used to hate it, but now I'm like, oh, ballerina, like I don't mind it. Like I haven't danced in years, but I still call myself a ballerina. Like I will always be a ballerina because I've literally did the whole training. So I still feel like I am that.
Yeah.
It kind of is still part of me, but I like it now because I don't have the pressure of it.
And you don't like being on stage, being the centre of attention?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
It stresses me out.
We're like so opposite.
It really stresses me out.
It is really interesting how you are both so opposite.
We are.
From the same industry.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people oversee, because everyone strives you to be like the perfect ideal that they've imagined in their head, but it all looks kind of the same. So everything becomes uniform, and everyone kind of, as I said before.
Do you mean from a distance?
Yeah, in a way, but it's like, I always found it really weird, but particularly in college, they were like, okay, you have to hit the certain standard of dance, and then just sprinkle a bit of personality on it, but not too much, just like the right amount. And you're like, how do I have a personality if I'm here 24/7?
It becomes words, doesn't
like,
it?
How?
Like,
yeah.
Like, I'm just here. I have no life.
Yeah.
What do you want
They
me
want
to
you
have?
to like all
What
be
personality?
different, but you're doing the same
Same
stuff.
thing.
Yeah.
You're a robot.
And you're being trained by the same.
It's a factory.
And then they're
For
like,
sure.
smile.
Yeah.
And you're like, especially in musical theatre.
Oh gosh, it's vile.
Really?
Like,
Or
I'm
they're
not
like-
going to smile, actually.
They're
like,
like,
today I feel like being
yeah.
a bitch, so I will.
yeah, or like be
Wednesdays coming
creative.
through.
Like,
Yeah,
be,
bitchy
but-
Wednesday's
yeah.
coming in.
Yeah.
This is kind of bitchy Wednesdays right now, isn't it?
It's
Is
tea
it?
time.
So you need for the podcast.
Sometimes.
No.
No.
I think for me that was always a conflict of just like, how can I have personality?
Yeah.
Or like be creative, but like not that creative.
Mm.
Like just about so it fits into what
It's
we
so
envision.
hard.
Yeah.
And then
I bet that like
Yeah.
really like borderline like identity crisis.
Yeah,
Because you're
100%.
just like, well, like it's like start, stop, start, stop.
Mm.
You never really know what the balance would be if they're saying all of these things.
yeah, and it constantly creates this like idea of you trying to please others.
Yeah.
Yeah, the people pleasing thing, I don't think I took on board.
Fair point. You're like, that's not for me.
Phoebe's like, people pleasing? I don't know her.
No, like, I just don't. Because
Yeah.
I was never that.
Yeah.
There was a lot of the students and stuff would try and please the teachers, but I think that's where I went wrong. I had too much personality.
Yeah, too much personality.
I not too much personality, but I yeah, for ballet school.
Yeah.
Because we weren't allowed to in the ballet,
Mhm.
like, it was, yeah,
It's-
you had to be very timid and, like,
Like restrained.
shy and almost shy and just,
Would
like,
you say your
restrained.
sister is the opposite then?
Me and my sister both have quite big personalities, to be honest.
Ah.
But my sister took a break. So she went to a different ballet school. And then she took a break when she was like, so she left at like 18 or something, took a break for a few years. And then she actually was like, I'm going to try again. I'm going to go around the world and audition to all the ballet companies. And then she got a few places
Okay.
and then chose. But she had to take a break.
Okay. So she's also got a big personality.
I'd say we're both quite strong now.
Okay.
But I think, yeah, but she's doing really well. So it can work for you.
So are you.
I mean, in ballet terms,
Mm-hmm.
she's doing well in the ballet terms.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm doing well,
You're
but
doing
not
well.
in the ballet terms.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it suits her. But she is very ballet more than me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I only really did it because of her. If you think about that, I only actually went to the ballet class because my sister did it and she had a talent. So then
I
my
would
mum
say
thought,
more because of your mum than your sister.
well, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also wanted to I literally copied her all the time when I was younger. so there's a thing when you copy your older sister. So I kind of wanted to be her.
Mhm.
It was always that kind of,
Was it ever competitive?
no, because we're 7 years apart.
I,
So we
Oh,
were never
okay.
like, maybe, because
Mhm.
I've seen that where there's like a couple of years apart. But no, because she was so much older than me. So
Mhm.
I never really had that.
so much older.
I mean, it is
7
when
years
you're
is a big
like
gap.
7 and 14. No.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite a big.
Yeah.
You do see it when you're younger.
When you're
the age
younger,
gap,
you see
yeah.
it. Now we like I don't notice that she's older, but
Mm.
yeah. So no, it was never competitive.
Okay. So you found your thrill now from being in front of the camera, being the model,
Yeah,
performing that way,
yeah.
and you found your thrill from.
Go on.
I know I'm trying to
Give it a go.
I know I'm trying to get the
Oh, I
answer
thought you
out
were
of
trying
you.
to say her
No.
job title.
Yeah.
No, because you kind of said what it was, but you don't dance that much anymore. So
No, I
What
dance for leisure, if you can say it like
Yeah.
that. And it's a practice called authentic movement, so you kind of move and you see what comes up. So that's kind of what we do in sessions as well, in therapeutic sessions. But I get kind of, for example, before I would have watched performers and I was like, oh my God, that technique is amazing. Like that is so, now I enjoy people dance that have no background in dancing.
Oh wow.
And it actually brings me so much joy because I'm like,
Oh, I
you're
love that.
actually enjoying it so much and you're moving the way that your body kind of, that's you. That's your movement and that's very unique to you. And I appreciate watching that because that's you sharing a part of yourself.
Sure.
is that
So
why
I
you made
prefer
me
that.
dance that time?
Absolutely, yes.
Stop.
She did.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yes.
He hated it.
Stop.
You did it? You
Yeah.
actually danced?
I did. I was awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have video?
There's no video, but there's many people that saw it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wait,
It was in a
you
busy
were, like-
Can we get
restaurant.
those
It was
people on the
great.
podcast next?
We can. There was a lovely woman from up north, right? She was from like Manchester or somewhere.
Yeah.
She was like,
She's
"Why are
very
you two
talkative.
sitting down?" and I was like, we're just eating, and then she went, no, come dance with us, and then Alexandra was like, oh, I really want to dance, and then she kind of forced me to get up and dance. And
how did that feel?
How did it feel
for you personally? Like, did you afterwards?
I mean, everyone was drunk, so it wasn't.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Tell me the context of this situation. I'm expecting it was in one of your sessions.
No.
Out food.
No.
Oh my god,
you like
No,
Actually, I'm
no,
seeing him
no.
privately. He's one of my No, I'm joking.
We're helping him.
I have a folder right
Help me
here.
to-
Yeah. What do you want to know?
No, we went to some really weird restaurant or something.
Yeah, we just
It's
went out for
really
food
weird.
to just catch up, and then it was one of those restaurants where they had like a live singer and like.
She was pretty good, actually.
Yeah, she was, and I think it was like a birthday or a Hendy. I don't even know.
Yeah, it's a
So it was like
Hendy.
a whole bunch of like
The Hendy's
middle-aged
always
women
good.
just going at it.
They do get you.
Yeah.
It was great.
Was it great?
I enjoyed it. I don't
Okay.
know.
So you were like the stripper for the Hindu, right?
I was a stripper.
Got it.
I was a stripper. They were
So
disappointed.
that's why you were dancing.
They were thoroughly disappointed.
Got it. So you got hired.
I got hired
as the
as a stripper,
I get it.
and
Right.
they got a refund.
Oh, okay.
Full refund.
Immediate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I didn't
Man,
get
many
naked.
talents.
But you
Look at
weren't
you go.
impressed.
With the dancing.
No.
Yeah, with the dancing. She wasn't impressed with the dancing.
Why?
No, I never said I wasn't impressed.
Because I can't dance.
No, I think it
Depends
was
what
actually
kind of dancing it is.
I think
It was like 80s music. And it was
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
What's your go-to?
Okay.
You like a
My
two-step
go-to was
guy?
kind of a full-on two-step.
Two-step.
Yeah,
Kind
full
of
on
yeah, it's because
two-step.
like a step click.
It was step click.
Step
It was
click.
step click, yeah.
And
Lots of
it's
clicking.
just-
Yeah,
I do
Yeah.
cringe.
Go on.
I do still judge people's dancing.
I knew it. See, this is why I don't dance.
I think as a dancer, you're like,
She was like, no one's watching, no one's judging you.
I was like, no one
Yes, they
cares.
are.
He's in the corner like.
Wow.
yeah,
Taking notes.
you can't help it. Not in a mean way. Not in a mean way. No, but to be fair, ballet's very different from like.
Yeah.
So you,
From a two-step on the dance floor.
but sometimes I'm like,
Oh, you would have been doing that for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe just run out like head down.
Yeah, or just say stop.
Embarrassment.
Please,
yeah.
please stop.
Sit down.
Sit down.
Sit your ass down.
This is the worst thing. She said, get up and dance. So I was like, okay, cool. She was busting out all the moves.
No,
Were
She
you?
was busting
wasn't.
out
I
all the
was
moves.
not.
She
I was
was.
not.
I was like, what's going on?
I was
She's
giving
she's
it-
embarrassing everyone.
I was giving a two-step with a twist.
You
That
were
was
not doing
it.
a
That was
two-step.
it. Wasn't
She was
even that
not.
one.
She was not doing that.
No, it's just a bit more to the rhythm. That's it.
To the rhythm. You're getting roasted today.
No.
Proper roasted.
I feel bad a little bit.
No, keep going. Keep
It's
going.
alright,
Keep
it's
going.
fine.
Okay.
But yeah.
Just watch out.
No, I genuinely enjoyed
Just
it.
don't dance,
your
and then I won't have
Yeah.
anything to
Yeah,
say.
just don't dance right there.
I think the only time I'm watching someone and I'm cringing is when
Was me.
No. I thoroughly enjoyed that.
I know you did.
But no, when I think it's unsafe, when I see really
It was
bad
unsafe.
technique, and then I'm
Or where
like,
it's dangerous, like
Yeah.
the knee thing.
What knee thing?
Basically, like in ballet, like if your knees aren't in line with your toes, like it can be a little pop with the knee. And like I see people and I'm like, to stop because you're actually gonna
Yeah.
like.
Do you see that when you're out? Do you like?
Or they're walking, bowed
Do you, like,
legs.
correct- you
Do
know,
you
bowed
ever see-
legs.
You ever clock
Yeah,
bowed
I-
legs?
like
I
yeah.
always
bad technique
clock.
and someone comes up to you and helps you. Is it like
Pop,
on the
pop.
dance floor?
Yeah, I'm
Like
like
that
just
in the
aligning the
club.
knee, like you don't anyone any dislocation.
yeah,
Or sometimes I'm like, you've got really nice feet, and people are like, what? And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah.
maybe
I always notice like people
Yeah.
in their heels when their arch is
Yeah.
like
but like a nice sway back.
a
Then I'm
nice
like,
sway
yeah.
back. I'm like, oh, if only.
What?
You have like different shapes of legs. Like some go like that, some are straight, some go like
Yeah.
that. So, but like
You've
a
got
s-
kind of sway back, right?
I
yeah,
have sway
nice.
backs.
What does
yeah.
that mean?
So you're
Hyperextended.
hyperextended,
Like you know
basically.
this,
Mm-hmm.
the arm. It's like the same thing with the leg. I got slight, but not really. Mine are more straight.
What? The
Unfortunately.
leg bends like that?
The leg kind of bends back a little bit.
How
Like
comes?
From the knee.
we could show
Yeah.
an example.
I'll show
It's
you.
like
Like
the
get up
sit
later.
back. It's actually not very good for your kneecap.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of strain on the kneecap, but it looks really beautiful in ballet, like the lines and stuff.
Is that a
It gives it
trained
more of a
thing?
swing to the line
You can't
in a way,
help it.
instead of just a straight line.
You're either
Oh.
born with that.
Like
Oh.
your legs are a bit more like.
Oh yeah, it looks like more extended. Everything's more. It's nice.
But again, it's just about aesthetic.
Yeah.
Aesthetic. Wow, that's a hard word. And how it looks to others.
But that's like
Yeah.
a thing of body image. Like you can't actually help that.
Mm.
Like you're either born with that or you're not. So then that's when it's like a lot of things, this perfect thing you can't really achieve because a lot of it is just natural.
Mm-hmm. do you still compare yourself to other people?
I think as humans, you always compare yourself to other people, especially as women. You can't help it, like not in a horrible way, but you do often look at other, like I'll look at other girls and be like, oh, they have that, or I did. But then you have to get out of it. You have to just be like, hang on, I've got this, I've got that. Do you know what I mean? You have to think of like everyone's different. Yes, I used to compare a lot more, but now I'm actually like, I really don't care anymore. I think I'm getting to the point where I'm like, stop comparing myself. I more do it to myself, more compare myself to myself now.
Sure.
What made you change?
Confidence.
Age.
Confidence, age probably, and confidence. And like, my mum's really helped as well, because she's always been like, my mum was one of those mums that would be like, if someone was mean to you, a girl was mean to you, she'd be like, yeah, they're jealous of you because you're so beautiful. Something like that was my mum. So like, I always had that of my mum being like, you're amazing, like really helping me and my sister, kind of. My mum, so I never really had, I was quite confident. Obviously the ballet school knocked me a lot, but now I'm like,
you're back.
Yeah, I feel like getting there. Social media doesn't help. That's a whole thing.
That is a whole thing.
That is a whole thing.
That is a whole thing.
Big
And I
old
think
thing.
that's what kind of, like when you were saying it's natural to compare yourself, I feel like social media is one of the biggest tools that
Can't help
does
it.
that for probably men and women,
Mm-hmm.
if you're susceptible to it. But like you say, it's just important that you snap back.
Yeah, you have to literally be like, hang on, stop. Yeah.
Hang on, stop.
Hang on, stop, pause, and then off we go. Speak to Kim Ward. They're jealous because they're beautiful. You know the one?
Yeah. What's your advice to people who go through social media? And
I think social media can be a really amazing thing. That's the thing. And actually Instagram is actually really helpful, and with like inspiration for things, or like especially as a model, like picture inspiration, like that kind of styling stuff. Like it can be, if you use it and you look at other females and be like, oh, that's really cool, like, oh, I might like create that in my own way, or like that kind of thing. But I think it can be very bad, and you're just scrolling, especially if you're like looking at like people that like used to be friends with, or people exes, or like that kind of thing. You're just like, oh, that's really bad. Doing the whole stalk.
what do you see that makes you?
I don't know. So I'm just like, sometimes I'm like quite nosy.
Okay.
I'll be like looking down people's following, like, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I'm
What are you doing?
Check yourself.
I'm just like,
Hold on a minute.
yeah, not good actually.
Are you looking at them and thinking, you're doing so well, and I'm jealous?
Oh yeah, obviously sometimes I'm like, oh, that's cool, like, or sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't know, I don't want to talk about this. This is kind of changed.
This podcast was supposed to be about something else.
I think social media is just, I don't know, the whole plastic surgery thing really convinced me that I needed the filters and everything.
Oh, what, like the Instagram
Yeah,
filters?
like at one point I was gonna get like this done, this done, this done, this done. I would never got it done, but at one point I thought I needed everything.
It is a bit jarring, you know, when you're like on a filter, because I've had this happen before, when I was unknowingly using a filter and then it snapped back to the original camera. I've never felt so humbled.
Oh my god, I know the one.
Entire life.
You're literally like,
Wow.
I was like, I gasped.
you thought you were that beautiful, and then you realised.
That's
really bad.
No,
That's
but
what
it's
I
the
thought.
truth. I genuinely, so I get it. The filters.
Oh my god.
Make sure
No,
you're aware. That would
like-
be my advice.
But the
Look down,
cameras
look
are
at the bottom of
so
your screen
good.
to see if you're on a filter.
Oh my god,
And
that's
then proceed.
hilarious.
Yeah.
And the cameras are such good quality these days that it's
They
like
pick up
my
things.
skin is just
Yeah.
does not look good on these cameras. They pick up everything.
Yeah.
Are probably better than these ones, to be honest. The new
Probably.
iPhone cameras. Don't want to take a picture of myself.
violation.
A
Yeah,
violation.
I need
the audacity.
the beauty filter.
You need the beauty
I don't
filter.
need the beauty filter, but it does give a little bit of something.
Do you think so?
I don't
A little bit of
know.
I mean, in my case, it
In
gave
your
a lot.
case, apparently.
Yeah, they do
Did
give
the
too
most.
much. They actually change your features, don't they?
Oh, yeah, it's in my face and everything, and like it was just really mad, the difference. Why are you looking at me like that?
Oh, I didn't think you used social media.
No.
A bit like,
Yeah, I'm pretty bad.
You don't use
Yeah,
social
you
media.
are.
On the social media.
I am, but I feel like every single time I'm like, no, I should post something, and then I just don't do it for months.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
Yeah.
no, I really should. And then I'm just there mainly looking at memes and just other stuff.
you don't need the validation.
No. Wow, that's a bit harsh. But
Uh,
no, I just don't
it's-
think.
No, it wasn't me being harsh. It's more like I was asking the question: do you need the validation?
Not really in that sense, but I just also I'm not a person that picks up when I see something nice. I don't pick up my phone.
Do you take a photo of it?
Yeah, like sometimes I wish I was that person. It's like, oh, I wish I would have taken
like,
a picture of
document
it.
the memory.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
which is why I've told myself that, oh, let me post more so I can then look back at it like a photo album.
See, that's why I like Instagram.
Yeah.
Because it's like a digital
It
diary
is.
for me.
Yeah.
And like just
Yeah.
like documenting all the memories, which is sweet.
That is a nice side of it. However, I actually pretty much only post like shoots and
Yourself.
Yeah.
Are you a
I've-
model full time?
I'm trying to be, yeah. So
I
I
think
only
that's quite imperative.
Yeah,
No,
you
but
have to.
But like I only post like shoots that I've done or like
Just yourself.
just work stuff.
Yeah.
That things that because I actually get quite a lot of jobs through Instagram.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
I think you use it really well, though.
I get a lot of stuff through Instagram at the
I think
minute. I
you-
don't know why.
I think you use it as your CV.
I do.
Yeah.
That's
And
correct.
models do. I think that's the
Yeah,
thing,
and then
yeah.
that actually does help because I don't post my life. I might post if I'm at a nice place occasionally on my story or something like this, but I don't really like day to day. I won't. I don't really post my life anymore at all. I might do
Yeah.
sometimes, but no one knows who I'm with or like, and I quite like that.
I think
Like,
you've.
mysterious
I think
vibes.
you've beat the matrix in that sense.
It's mysterious. Yeah, I'm using it as a business.
Yeah,
account,
which is
guess.
I think what it should be used for personally.
Absolutely. Well, that's what we got told. So I did photography at uni, and we got told that Instagram is a really good way. It's like a business card, like a digital business
Yes.
card.
Yeah.
The QR codes that you can share, things like that. Like it's a really good business tool to enhance
It's amazing.
your
Absolutely.
work. Yeah,
It's
and
amazing.
I think it can definitely be translated into different industries like modeling.
I've met like photographers through it that then put me up for jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I've worked with this girl a few times. She'll message me like, "Oh, come to my studio," and found me through Instagram.
I think this is a great tool for business. I think if you start using it
Yeah.
for personal life, I think you will fall down a slippery slope. I think you'll want that validation, or you'll want you'll stalk people. In your case, look at their followers and whatnot.
I think it depends. I think you can do both. I think you can
I
use
think
it as
you
a
can definitely
you can do
I
it
think
as
it's
both.
I think you just need to separate yourself from I'm not doing this for validation, like, and have other sources where you get your validation from your relationships, like all of that other stuff.
Yeah, it's when you
100%.
don't feel validated
Yeah.
in your actual relationships and your life, or maybe your family didn't, then I think that can really play a part.
Yeah, definitely. I think your actual life definitely impacts how you work. Just got told. But yeah, no, I think you're right, Phoebe, in the way that like your whatever's going on, how you function in your relationships in reality is going to parallel with your relationship with social media,
Fully.
for sure.
I think the other thing is to consider with social media is how you kind of what's on your feed and how you control that.
Yes, for sure.
Because I think if you kind
Yeah.
of sink into the loophole of comparing yourself, and then you go into like different influencer stuff, and then that's all the stuff that
Yeah.
pops up, and then you kind of get into this loophole of just
Yeah.
struggling to get out of it.
I think it can be a motivator. Because
Ooh.
when I see girls on Instagram that I follow people that I know and I'm friends with and my family and stuff, but I do follow a lot of like people who I love their work. I'm like, wow, you're really successful. I think you're really beautiful, like stuff like that. I will follow a lot of girls like that, but I actually find it really motivating. I've never looked at it and been like, oh, or like made me feel like shit or something. Of course, there have been times when I've compared myself to them, but I actually feel like it can be really motivating, and sometimes it's good to actually be like, look, this is what someone's achieved, and then you kind of like strive towards that.
Yeah, but I think some people will see it the other way. They'll be like, oh,
Of
that
course.
person's that age and they've achieved this at this age.
Yeah,
And
I mean, also you've got to remember that social media is all
it's all fake.
shit.
It's all fake.
Like,
yeah.
all these girls that have all these like designer bags and stuff. I'm like, most of it's fake.
Mm-hmm.
Most of it, there's something dodgy going on.
Like what?
Like when I see a girl on a private jet, I'm like, don't post that you're on a private jet, darling. Going to Dubai, like. I'm
What's
not
she
sure.
doing? What's she doing in Dubai?
Yeah, what are we doing in Dubai?
What's she doing out there?
Who's taking her?
Like,
Who's taking her? What's she doing to get on that plane?
yeah, like, yeah, this is what I mean.
If she's taking herself, I want to know how. But
She's not taking herself. She's not taking herself.
It's like you see all of that, but actually you don't see the behind the scenes of what actually is going on.
What is going
or
on,
like,
Phoebe?
Yeah,
Phoebe,
I mean, it's a
what's going on?
highlight reel, isn't it? At the end of the day,
It's a
So,
highlight reel, yeah.
It's just like it's never you're never gonna post
like, I don't need to
what
see
you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's happening on the plane?
I don't know. Like, if you see like a girl from like Sheffield who's like 19 on a private jet, you're like, good luck to you.
do her parents know where she is?
Oh, I don't know.
Where's your mum?
Where's your mother?
Like, what girl from like Sheffield's going on a private jet on the weekend?
Who?
Girl from Sheffield or something. I don't know. I'm just saying
You can
Sheffield.
rent though. That what a lot of influencers
can
are doing is that you can
Sit
rent
on it, take a
a
picture, and
private
leave,
jet
yeah.
or rent a
Yeah.
studio that is
Sit like a
fixed
jet.
as a private jet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Genius.
Or you can just
But
get
it's
on
nuts
the
that
jet.
people think they have to go to
I-
those
honestly,
lengths.
It's crazy.
That you
isn't it?
have.
But
That you're
that
interesting when you're on a
probably would
private
get them
jet.
work or something.
Huh?
Like they're doing that because they might.
Yeah, get more followers,
And
and,
then
if
they
you
get
get more followers, you
followers,
get
and then-
work.
So they are playing the game.
But then again, it's sad that that's what gets you a
Oh
following.
my god!
what the
Imagine
game
hiring a
is.
studio with a private to like pretend you're on a private jet.
Mm.
I'd rather post my
I'd-
EasyJet, to be
in-
honest. You know what I mean?
Keep it humble, keep
Ryanair,
it-
top.
I'd rather post my EasyJet.
Would you rather post a picture on the jet, the fake jet, or would you rather get on the real jet?
Rather get on the real jet
and not
Would you-
post
would you?
about it.
and not post about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I would too. For
I'd
sure.
rather get on
100%.
the real jet and not post about it and be
Those
like,
seats look comfortable as
Yeah.
hell.
Yeah, but
The
someone's paying.
leg room.
Someone's paying for those flights.
of course.
Yeah, me.
No, not you.
One day.
I
in the
like
future.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe choose the other option.
Why?
Well,
Who's
it
paying for this
depends
jet,
because
Marcus?
there are
Who do you
some
think?
rich, nice people.
There are. They just want to hold hands
Okay, let's
and
not
talk.
think in stereotypes.
They just
There's
wanna-
many different
Sure.
versions of this.
Sure.
What? Yeah, let's think about in the world where we're all rich and famous. And
Okay,
retire
cool.
and
Yeah,
have
like
jets,
there are
okay?
like
Let's just keep it wholesome for a
footballers.
second.
Yes,
Not
sure.
that they're nice.
Sure. What's that?
I was gonna say there are footballers. Not that they're nice, but there are like. Not everyone who owns a private jet is like 85. Like
No.
85.
I don't know.
Some of
I
them
think
are
of like
18-year-old
old sugar
YouTubers.
daddy vibe.
That's true.
Yeah, there we go.
Exactly.
That is true. Or footballers. Or nice footballers.
I've never met one actually.
Oh dear. Have you met a footballer?
I think I have actually.
Just not a nice one.
I don't
Just not
care.
a nice one.
It's not a nice.
Don't care about footballers. Too
Why
young.
not? They're too young.
Too young.
Too
Old
young.
footballers.
I like anyone like over 30.
Is it? What's the reason?
I don't know.
They're rich.
They're established.
More
Established
chance
and
of a
rich.
private jet.
More chance of that Insta
So
pic.
if I just don't post for a weekend, just know I'm on a private
private
jet.
jet in
Oh,
Dubai.
nice. Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Have you been on a private jet?
No.
Have you been with a footballer?
No.
Would you like to do any of those things?
No.
Do you hear about that girl? Do you hear about that girl that stalked those footballers?
Oh, yes.
Wait,
yes.
What do you mean?
Mason Mount and
That OnlyFans model, she like stalked them, and then she had to pay them compensation for like the mental stress.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What?
Mason Mount
Oh.
did stuff with this OnlyFans, was
I
it?
think she's like a Instagram model.
Yeah. She's a lot of
OnlyFans,
work
she does-
done. A lot of work done. But yeah.
She's a
he
young girl.
Done something with her.
Right.
And then she started stalking him. She bought loads of phones, started calling him, sending him messages.
And then another one from the team.
Yeah, the left back, I forgot his name, Chilwell. Ben Chilwell.
Yeah.
Um,
And then basically they reported it, and obviously they've got amazing lawyers and stuff. She had no chance.
Took her to court.
And she got an
Stalking.
isolated prison
got-
sentence, so she didn't have to go to prison.
Yeah.
And
Where
she
would she
had
be
to
then?
pay
At
them
home?
compensation. That's a piss take. Like they're like multimillionaires, and this poor girl
Poor girl.
What did
I
she
don't-
do? So she just harassed them. I'm
She
saying
harassed-
she harassed.
She harassed.
Bit of like stalking.
She harassed them. Yeah.
You don't really know what went on though. Like, I don't know what this guy had slept with her and had a not relationship, but like that with her. You don't know what went on. Like,
Yeah.
I think she shouldn't have done it, but like, I feel like
But if it was a guy,
if it was a guy, yeah.
This is where
Yeah.
you can flip it on
Yeah,
its
but they're
own
not. They're
perspective.
multimillionaires.
Yeah.
Like, shut up.
wow. We were talking about this before, Britney Spears, and I was like, I don't really have
Oh,
sympathy.
wow.
No, I was like, I don't really have sympathy for her. Kez was like, and most people are like, but I do because she's been through a lot.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't have any sympathy for her. But it's the same thing.
But apparently her dad was like
No,
controlling.
well,
all
this
her
is the
stuff.
thing. I think the Britney Spears situation, if you're going to compare it to something like that, is uncomparable because she was in a, I never get this word right, conservatorship?
Conservatorship.
I have no idea.
Where her dad was basically controlling her.
Yeah.
every move,
Yeah.
right? And you couldn't compare that to this, what we were just talking about, situation.
He was, but only when she started to show signs of mental illness.
It was
Yeah, but
years
also the life
before
that she
that.
was
but
living.
regardless, yeah.
She was being harassed 24/7. Of course, everyone
was
would
Jack-
have a little bit.
So was Mason Mount. By this woman.
24/7. That's I don't know. Clearly, there were two very different outcomes to the situation.
I don't know. I think they're both the same.
I beg to differ.
I think they're both the same.
Yeah, I don't think they are. I don't think you can compare a situation like Britney Spears.
It's like, okay, for example, a footballer who gets loads of DMs of abuse from supporters, whether it be racial or just any sort of abuse. Just because they're getting paid loads of money, it doesn't mean that they're less inclined
But
to feel
are they
that
then
pain.
sleeping with all the people that are giving them abuse?
No.
Why is he sleeping with her then? Do you know what I mean?
Maybe just crack the code.
She was like, "That was your choice."
There we go.
Yeah, but then,
Just
okay,
shut that one down.
you haven't, because if a guy, okay, so let's turn it around. Female footballer
Yeah.
sleeps with a guy, he stalks her. Is that okay?
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not. I'm not saying it is and what she's done wrong, but you don't actually know like what mental stress he put her through.
True.
I don't know. She probably was crazy, but
I'm sure they talked
now
about
she's
it
got
in
to
court.
pay. Yeah.
I'm sure it all came out.
conversation.
Yeah, I mean, he won,
Up on
so
the
I think
stand.
Can't believe she has to pay them compensation. That's
she hasn't
like
got any
the
money.
biggest like fuck you, isn't it?
She
like
hasn't got
that-
any money.
She's got no money and she's got to pay them.
I mean, if you stalk
I'd rather
people-
do
I mean,
prison
lesson
sentence.
learned, innit?
It is,
Like,
yeah.
all right, she's not going to do that again.
Yeah,
is
she like came to court like dressed up proper, didn't she?
Did she?
To be fair, I would. Like a Paris Hilton court moment.
Oh,
Oh,
love that for her.
what a moment.
Not the sentence,
Yeah.
but the outfit.
Not the
Yeah.
sentence.
Not the sentence.
Yeah, that part's not great.
No, it's not. It's not. The whole thing's not great.
Yeah.
I know you're trying to defend her.
I'm not
Right.
trying to defend her, but I'm
No?
like,
Just the compensation part's a bit wild.
Is it?
they like claimed that they had to take time off their training. Like it was all lies. It was all lies.
I don't know. Maybe they did.
Maybe they.
So now
this is
she
the
has
th-
to
like,
pay for the train. It's just,
How much did
just-
she have to pay?
I don't know.
Oh, it's thousands.
Her OnlyFans
Thousands.
salary, you know.
Oh.
I don't know if she's on OnlyFans. Just to clarify,
is.
she on OnlyFans?
Definitely.
Okay.
Which
Okay.
is cool.
Yeah,
Like I don't
that
have
is-
a. That's
Nothing wrong with that.
I mean,
Oh,
she's
no,
making
there's
money.
nothing
Wrong with that.
Yeah.
She's making money.
It's
nothing
cracking
wrong with that. It's
money,
an industry.
apparently,
It is an industry.
And if you think that you can do well in it, why not? And it's like sell and demand. There's a demand for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there is.
Not that
there
I
is.
wouldn't do it personally, but
There is.
Would you do?
No. But I think I get confused about OnlyFans because sometimes it's like more on the sexual side of things, but then there's some people that like do other stuff on OnlyFans that
I
hasn't.
think it's just anything that
Yeah.
you have to pay to view.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
So maybe she's like reading books out loud. We don't know what type of
She could be reading
OnlyFans she
books out
has.
loud.
Yeah.
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 I mean,
I hope so.
That's-
I hope so.
Either way, that's her judgment.
There you go.
a lot of people just take like bikini pictures and put them on.
Yeah. The feet pics one, the money you
Ugh.
can make on the feet pics
Oh my god, I know.
is.
Got offered on Instagram once.
Did you?
Did
Yeah.
you?
How much?
I can't remember. It's like I'll pay you like £500 to send a picture of your feet. I was like,
Did you
well,
do
they're
it?
already on my no.
That's good money though.
It is, and it's just literally like a picture of your.
It's a picture of
Maybe
your foot.
I don't want to say if I did. No, I didn't.
You did. You did.
No, I didn't. But yeah, what is that about? That's
I know,
weird.
isn't that-
Now I'm like
yeah,
getting
the
nervous. My
amount of
feet are
money.
on camera because I'm just wearing sandals.
That's right. So
Your
under the
feet are hidden.
table.
Yeah, exactly. It's fine.
There's no free feet pics today.
No.
I think it's just people wanting stuff they can't have, and they have
Like
loads of
feet.
money, like feet, like feet, like feet.
Talking about the Little Mermaid.
Although like
Little Mermaid.
what? Because she doesn't have feet.
She doesn't have feet.
She
Oh,
wants
I get
them.
it.
I want
Yeah.
feet. Yeah,
She got them.
she did.
She
She
did.
did get them.
But
But
Anyone?
no, it's just men.
It's just men.
Just men.
We were just
a bit
talking about
weird,
women a
aren't
minute
they?
ago, stalking.
Yeah,
Two
but men are just
footballers.
weird, I think, when it comes to things like that.
Can't even argue, can I? It's 3 women. I'm gonna
No, go
shut
on,
up.
say it okay if you're
Outnumbered.
No, we listen to you.
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
listen.
You can listen.
The question is, would
And-
you take it on?
Yeah,
said what I
zero
want to
chance.
know.
Yeah, I think yes, guys can be quite perverse, but so can girls. Now, I think in terms of your guys' insecurities,
Mhm.
which have come from dance, is that a statement I can make?
No.
Got brought
No?
out.
Sorry, that's very different.
False.
False.
Yeah.
They come from my parents, so
Is that a fact?
partially.
Ooh.
I feel like that's the case for a lot of people.
Half
though,
and half, yeah.
Mm,
You know?
mm.
I think your insecurities come from like partially your surroundings, maybe your family, wherever you grow up,
Lot of
the
your
society that you're
childhood
in.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
I think mine got brought out through dance. They were probably already there. I don't know if it was like ballet was the reason.
This
but-
rose to the surface because of, because we've had this debate back and forth so many times about nature or nurture, so many times. Where do you stand? Where do you
It's
stand?
going to be a debate.
I don't know what that means, nature or not.
So, if you're, say for example, you're a serial killer,
Mm.
were you born a serial killer, or did things in your life?
Yeah,
Make you into a
it's
serial
like
killer.
no one was born evil. That's what some people say.
Exactly. So we've had that debate so many times. Where do you stand?
I stand on the mixed theory. Don't make me reference a paper because I don't remember it or who came up with this, but it's this theory
You
of
could say
that.
any paper, I would have believed you. Like, you could have said any
I just don't want
Carry
to.
on.
Like, someone did the actual work and I'm just stealing the idea. So I want to give them credit, but I just don't know who I'm giving
I
credit to.
appreciate
But it's this idea that you just kind of, I guess to put a metaphor to it, you are born with like a light switch board. And depending on your surroundings, some get switched off, some get switched on. So you're born with like a baseline of predispositions, but depending on your surroundings, that's kind of what brings them out.
So everyone's got the same board.
No, everyone's got a different board of
Okay.
dispositions.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But
Where's that come from though?
so that's
What came
nature.
first, the chicken or the egg?
The light switch board is nature.
Okay.
And then so like
The
whatever
effects are
switches it on
nurture.
is nurture. So
Okay.
it's a combination of both.
Okay.
That's
then
the theory
it's
I'm
hard
going
to
with.
think sometimes like that if, like, do you know that boy that was like under 10, he killed his sister and stuff like that, when it was a normal family, he wasn't abused or anything like this.
Yeah.
He just felt like his mum was giving too much attention to his sister or something.
Is that a true story?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
but I guess everyone has a different threshold, isn't it?
True.
Yeah.
And obviously he had like no empathy and stuff. That comes into it. So.
But
For
then
sure.
would that no empathy sit under nature or nurture?
That's definitely nature.
That's nature, right?
It can be either or.
Yeah, like he literally
At
had
10?
no empathy.
Yeah. But then, I don't know, it could be, because I quite like this mixed theory, because I think that makes the most sense to me, because I don't think it's an and or thing. At 10, yeah, of course, you could argue that it's nature, but he's going to get those behavioural patterns from somewhere, right? And even if it's like a normal family, you know what goes on behind closed doors. You don't know the conversation that is said. Maybe the
And
parents
he
are
said
very
he didn't have
unempathetic.
attention.
And he
So
didn't have
that
attention,
was
so that's the,
the
nurture
nurture
side.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think it's nature?
No, I think there is nurture involved, for sure.
Mm.
But I think, typically speaking, like you said, for example, those things that were brought out by dance were there beforehand. And I do think we're all born differently. So I'm saying the same thing as you, basically. I'm just going around it the other way. So I think it's both. But I think nature is more crucial than nurture, personally speaking.
Why?
Nature more than nurture, did you say?
I think if you're, serial killer, if you're born and you become a serial killer, and say, for example, like you just said, a 10-year-old just killed his parents, the girl didn't kill her parents, they both had maybe the same quality of life. What made him do something and her not do something? Mm-hmm. That's definitely a nature thing. And
I believe there's some people that are just born evil. I do believe that. Don't think there's any excuses sometimes.
Yeah, people are wired a certain way.
Yeah,
that can be argued. But with this brother-sister thing, the sister got more attention, right?
The sister was a baby. It's a really awful story.
Oh, how old was she?
I can't remember. She was like a 2-year-old baby, like toddler child.
Even so, she would have got more attention.
Yeah, then the boy was like
right?
8 or 9 or something. Piers Morgan did an interview with him. Like, it went into
With the
prison.
baby?
With the kid?
With the kid, sorry.
With the boy.
No way.
But when he was older. So he's like 20 or something. And then he did an interview. And you can just see he's like, there's nothing. Yeah, he's
gone.
That's so frightening, isn't it?
It's
10
gone.
years old as well. Could you
Yeah.
imagine?
Yeah, something like that. And he rang the police and been like, don't know if he said he killed his sister, or he said my sister's dead. So he like did it, but he tried to set it up. Like,
As if he didn't.
Yeah, I think so.
At 10 years old. Okay,
Yeah.
that is a very nature kind of.
Yeah. He like tried, he
Kind
like
of
actually called the
blanket.
police and was like, oh, that was it. And then they were like, you need to do the resuscitation thing. And he was breathing as if he was doing it, but he was in a completely different room. And he was like going through it for half an hour with the...
Is this actual factual?
This is real. I
this is what's
remember.
happening?
Yeah, and he was going through it on the phone like as if he was doing it, but he wasn't doing it. And he was like, yeah, 1, 2, like I don't know what you do, but yeah. I wouldn't be very good at that, isn't it? Something like that. Yeah, like 1. Probably, he's probably better chance of doing it than me too. He was in a different room.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you know more than us.
Yeah.
Alexandra.
I don't know the case. So.
You don't know the case,
It's
but
really
you-
I
interesting.
think
Yeah,
there's
this
so many factors to
switchboard theory.
consider.
Of course.
I think because everyone has a different threshold, and I think also the difference to make is we can always justify or understand where someone's coming from. It doesn't mean that those actions are excused.
Yeah.
So there's always great to dig and understand where it might be coming from, but like at the end of the day, it's never okay. But I think with situations like that, I think it's really hard to decipher, because he had 10 years of life with his parents, and he was like, oh, he might just be 10, but kids are sponges, like they take on everything. So majority of his personality or his identity would have been formed by then. So there's actually quite a lot that he can take on.
Most of your where you learn like how to react with other humans is from that age.
Yeah.
Like really, really young.
Yeah, and I can't say, oh, it was the parents, or like,
No.
everyone loves to blame the parents, don't get me wrong, and it's a great way out, but it might not be the parents. It might be genuinely, he might have had a personality disorder or something else, like, we don't know. But it's, I don't know, the only thought that I'm like, did no one see this coming? Like,
Yeah. Show signs.
Like show signs of violence or something.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
So it is the parents.
No, not necessarily. I don't know enough details with regards to be able to make
Yeah.
a judgment on it at all. I think it's just with cases like that, it seems to me, I don't know, like the
We
parents
just
could have been
don't know, yeah.
incredibly violent, I don't know, or
Yeah.
I don't know
You've seen
what have gone
something.
on.
You've seen something,
Yeah,
a
you've
film,
seen
TV show.
something. I feel
Yeah,
like with too much
exactly.
exposure.
Oh, for sure.
TikTok as well.
But I
Too
don't
much
think there's any
exposure.
turning back from that, is there?
You
After
can just
murder.
search anything.
No.
Anything.
Exposure. I mean, exposure-wise. Exposure.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, we've got to a stage where, like you said, TikTok.
Yeah,
You see whatever you want on TikTok now.
Yeah.
there's some violent stuff out there.
And you can just search
Frightening
for
what's
any word and it
accessible.
will come up. Like on the like.
Mhm.
Are there parental
porn and
controls
stuff.
on TikTok?
I don't think
There
so.
is meant to be,
Surely.
but But then, like, my video got taken down.
What was in your video?
My video was a video of me in a bikini. But it's not porn, like, it was...
It's like partial, they say like partial nudity or something, don't they?
Yes!
What was you doing?
Within 2 seconds.
What was you doing?
Well, it's on Instagram and it's absolutely thriving, so... Just... What someone said, like, a bottle of water is like £1 in the corner shop, but then it's like $5.99 on a private jet. So you're just in the wrong location. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
So, but yeah, just took it down. Then I did it again, took it down.
What are you doing? You haven't said what you're doing.
Just kind of going, like, posing a little bit. But I'm not doing
Just going
anything
and posing.
inappropriate. Like, it was from
Just
a
like a
shoot.
classic
It was from a
bikini
shoot,
shoot,
yeah.
yeah.
It was...
What are you doing?
Can have a look if you want.
We'll put it on the video, on the edit.
It's a bikini one. Boom. You know, there's like,
What's
you know, like
the
when you put the
zoom on.
video
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
you put. Boom.
But what baffles
That's
me is
the
that they
technical
take
term.
stuff like that down, but like terrorist acts or violent acts, that's fine, or like misogynistic
ASMR,
talks or
like
anything
this
like
stuff.
that. Like, that's a violation. That should be taken
It
down.
getting
is.
clipped,
It should
that's
be
getting
taken
clipped.
down. It's weird.
Is that, what's that, mukbang?
No, that's when you eat, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna cringe.
How
very
did we
good at
get here?
Am I? Hello.
That's not going to get you any money.
Oh.
Hello.
What gets you money then? This thing?
You have to say something, like a sentence or something.
No, I'm getting shy.
Oh, just a minute ago you talked about bikini videos.
Yeah.
Okay. Shy. So shy.
So shy.
so shy.
Different context.
Different context
Yeah.
altogether. Would you guys like to close out with any statements? No?
Wow.
That was a big question to ask.
It's
to
a-
be
yeah, it's a
fair.
huge
No.
question.
Like,
No big statements?
Like a life motto, like.
Yeah. Yes, a life motto.
Yeah. What's your motto for the summer? I was talking about this the other day with some friends.
Motto for the summer.
Like, yeah, what's your motto? Probably isn't the right word.
Motto for the summer.
Yeah, like hot girl
It's a
summer.
slogan.
One of my so to give context,
Yeah.
Go
my
on.
friend was saying her motto for the summer. I feel like motto is not the right word, but motto for the summer is, if it doesn't make me rich, happy, or rich, successful, or beautiful, then I don't want it, or I'm not doing it.
Mm.
And that's her motto for the summer, probably for the year.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Do you guys have anything like that?
I guess so.
Go on.
I just do what I enjoy. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Obsessed.
So if it doesn't bring me joy, then ugh.
Yeah. I don't think I have anything. Slay.
Cool. We're back in 2016?
Slay. I feel like that's a very 2023 thing, no?
No.
Oh.
No.
Sorry,
Slay.
suddenly
It's given
you're
Barbie.
youthful.
Yeah.
Suddenly we're way. Wow.
My
Okay.
youth is back.
Yeah.
You brought it back to me, Phoebe.
I think
Your
more
youth.
I'd
My
like to
youth.
say.
Go on. What do you want to say?
I'd kind of like to say ballet is a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just this constant struggle, isn't it? Like differentiating that between all the things that come with it.
Yeah.
But there's nothing to take away from the fact that it is still amazing. And
Well, it's never the final act that is the bad thing. It's always the things behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Leading
Again,
up to it.
it's like football again.
it's like
Same
any
thing happens.
sport, isn't it? Really,
Yeah.
like it is a sport. I mean, it's an
Anything.
art,
It's an art, but it's a sport.
but it's a sport.
Yeah, I think it's one of those like weird crisscross
Yeah.
where it's like
It's both in one.
Yeah. I mean, we've maybe not spoken negatively, that's like the wrong thing, but is there anything positive from your careers in ballet that you'd like to sort of close out with? Because I feel like a lot of it's been to do with sort of the impact on your mental health. And like you said, Phoebe, it is a very beautiful art form. Is there anything that you would like to say in terms of sort of the more positive side of it?
Yeah, I think also the thing that I would like to put out is also that don't forget why you enjoy it and why you're doing it in the first place.
Yeah.
Because that is so rich. Like so many people walk around just thinking and kind of keeping everything in their head, but dancers have this inherent thing of carrying things in their body, and you have such an additional tool in order to kind of just be in life.
Yeah.
And that's so beautiful to me.
Yeah.
Like,
It's very beautiful.
Very good.
I agree.
Tick.
Yeah.
I think so you were saying like, what were you saying? Sorry.
When just now.
Yeah, when you were like, oh, is there anything
Positive.
Sort of
Positive.
more on the more positive side that you'd like
I
to
think-
sort of close out with.
Yeah, I think for me, it's given me like really good discipline. And you might not think. You don't.
She's very
Like,
subtle.
Discipline in terms
I get
of
you.
like. You know what? I don't know if I do anymore. But it actually does. Like working hard, having a goal, having a motivation, like self-discipline, like.
And the work ethic.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
like motivation or like maybe I'm not disciplined in some areas of my life.
I think you are now. I don't think when I first met you, you were.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I think I get where you're coming from though,
Yeah.
because I think dancers tend to devalue themselves. I'm just a dancer, or you
Yeah.
have to explain your job to other people, and you know that it's not going to be valued high. Whether as a dancer, from every single person I've seen that's gone into a different career, they've thrived because of
Fully.
their what they call transferable skills that you
Mhm.
have.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a very strong mindset. You're competitive, but you can have it in, well, hopefully in a healthy way.
Yeah. You know what real hard work is as well. Like
yeah,
I don't care what
exactly.
people say. Like it's really hard.
Yeah, and because you have such quick pickup skills and you know how to do it under pressure, you'll pick up anything that you would want to pick up in
Yeah.
any other job or sphere. So I think that's as I said, dancers tend to devalue themselves, but
Yeah, they do.
you have those skills that are applicable to every aspect of life, which I think
Mhm.
is important to remember.
Yeah.
Very good.
I agree.
Incredible.
Mm.
Amazing. Well,
Right. Could you guys look at...
The middle one, I think, no?
No, this one's kind of a wide shot. Look at this one here.
Oh, that's so
And
close.
just...
Yeah.
Let's do Phoebe first. Can you just give your socials if you want to, and where people can find you?
Okay. So my Instagram is Phoebe Alice Ward, PHOEBE, because people like to spell it wrong. That's kind of the only social I use, to be honest. I did
TikTok?
mention TikTok, but they all get taken down, so there's no TikToks for me. But it's also Phoebe Alice Ward. Do I leave my number? No, it's not
Don't
that.
do that.
Please
don't know why
don't do that. Do you see how we all
Just
jumped
my
then? We're
Instagram.
like, absolutely not.
My address, if you want to send me any fan mail, like, and if you have a private jet,
Hit me up.
yeah. No,
And-
that's it.
Alessandra?
So that was a very dramatic turn, sorry.
That was really good though. I was like, okay.
That's so good.
So my Instagram is Sasha_zip. But it's fine if you don't want to find me, that's absolutely fine.
It's not.
So this is where you can find me, but don't.
Found. It's okay.
Really?
I don't need to be found.
Cool. And Kez, where can they find us?
They can find us on Sensational Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Now on YouTube,
Now on YouTube.
Hey.
which is so exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, this one's going to be on YouTube.
That's fine.
Alex is like, okay, so if we
I
could just
didn't
cut.
know about that.
Okay.
No, but thank you so much both for joining us. It's been amazing to have you on this show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
It has been a pleasure.
It has.
It's been
Been
interesting.
a few
Until next
insults,
time.
but it's fine. I'll get
Yeah, I
over
don't know
them.
why.
It's grounded you, I think.
It has grounded me.
Yeah, I feel
It has
like
grounded
We
me.
have to
you
keep
made
you
me
humble.
do that.
You do.
Of
You
course.
do.
We are the
dancing did
guests.
that. The dancing definitely kept me humble.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whenever
Anyway.
you pipe up, we'll do it again.
All in a day's work, Marcus.
Oh, God. Anyway, bye.
Bye.